nine, eight, seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Initiate live stream start. Log detail visual activate.
Evening. Hello, how you doing? Everything working? Can you hear me? I can see the faders, they're jiggling. We're in, I think. Yes. Did I get it on time? Almost. So, nice to see everybody in. We got a few people watching. I didn't really advertise this much yet. I wasn't even sure if I was in the mood to do anything today. I'm pretty mashed, to be honest. But this is good. I found a project we can go through quite easily. And it's a good example of how you can make a perfectly good tune if you keep it simple. Although it probably did help that this was a remix of something that was absolutely legendary in the first place, and all I was doing was drum and bassifying it up a little bit. What I'll do is I'll just play it through. So what I do in these things, or the aim of this, is we're in my studio. I'm showing you on the display here, and then I can switch it to this, showing you what it looks like in the software I use to make music. I'm keeping an eye on the chat so I can see everything you're writing into me. I haven't got my eyes on it like the whole time, but I'm trying to keep looking at it. And if you've got any questions about any production stuff, just feel free and ask away, and I'll try and talk you through any questions you got. I work mainly in Logic, so I'm better at answering Logic specific things, although I'm not like I just use Logic for how it works best for me. I don't do any like weird super mad technical stuff. I just sort of try to approach it sensibly, really. But if I can probably advise on like general production stuff and techniques and all that as well. Starglum, hi Starglum, saying what's my favourite track to work on? Usually it's whatever I'm working on at the moment. Like, it has to be, you have to be feeling good about what you're doing, and then as soon as you finish it, you usually hate it because you've been working on it for the last however many days, weeks, months. So I'll just play this all the way through. Maybe I'll pause it and talk through stuff. So this is an unofficial remix I did of one of my favourite songs by The Cure called Just Like Heaven, which I figured out was, drum and bass speed. So it was a contender for a drum and bass remix, and the sort of thing I'd really like to play in my sets. I think I did this really quite quickly, hoping to play it festival season maybe last year, maybe trying to get it done in time for sun and bass or some nice outdoorsy stuff earlier in the summer. And I'd basically found the remix parts somewhere in the darkest depths of the internet, where the guitars were separated out and the vocals were separated out and stuff like that. So I'll just let this play in the background, and I'll keep an eye on the chat, and here we go. Oh yeah, I was got to say, we're expecting somebody to turn up to buy an old mirror of ours that's been sitting in the garage full of junk for ages, and my wife's put on a local eBay thing. So the doorbell's going to go at some point after 8 o'clock if we're still streaming. We'll probably still be streaming then. So I may have to run off for 5 minutes, and I'll leave you with the thing. I'll leave you with the be right back thingy if that's the case, but I will be back if I initiate that. So anyway, so here we go. I'll play it through from the beginning just so you hear what's happened. I think I put the full track up on, I think I made a little video of it or something on YouTube, but this didn't get released. I did my best. I sent it to everywhere I could find, but I couldn't get any proper contact at the label or anything. Yeah, Gumtree.
Show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. The one that makes me laugh, she said. And threw her arms around my neck. Show me how you do it. And I promise I'll run away with you. I'll run away with you.
stuff in the middle here is mainly the drums. The blue parts are the original stems. Brown, as usual, is the bass. And all this blue stuff here is swooshes and booms. These headphones, Reckless Life is asking, they're Bayer Dynamic 50s. They're not too expensive. I really like them though. They're just sort of pretty true. I've got some really nice little Audi's in-ear ones when you're travelling as well, like that in a mixed sound under super high pressure when on tour. Nice little piano solo there. Eric, watching on YouTube, says he really wants this track. I think I put a full version of it on YouTube actually, so you can at least listen to it there. Ginger MCR's asking, did I cut it out myself? I found the stems on the internet on some random Russian website that had remix parts for loads of 80s hits and
into shape. I must have been asleep for days, moving lips to breathe her name. I opened up my eyes, I found myself alone.
I can't remember what the original BPM was, but it wasn't perfect. The bass was a bit slower, so I had to do quite a lot of work to tidy everything up to get it close to BPM. As you can see, lots of automation there. Okay, sorry, I turned the mic down. Closer to the mic as well. Yeah, it's just a bit of a rollout. Right, I'm going to turn the music down. Hopefully you can hear me better. I don't want the mic distorting, because when I'm close it seems to do that. So yeah, if the levels are a bit dodge, if you need the mic turning up or the music up or the mic down or whatever, just give me a shout, because it's hard for me to monitor that. So where we are. So I'll go through just like solo, use some of this stuff here. The first thing I hang on, let me move the mic further along because I'm sitting further to the left. I have to set all this stuff up every time I do a stream, like move this microphone over from the other side, and I'm still sort of I've got enough bloody webcams in this house, but I always seem to feel like I need more than I have. So one thing that I thought was interesting here, this purple track here is a kick, but it's a ghost kick. You can't hear. There's nothing on it. So I was like, I know what I did, because so this is all the drums here. Let's loop it on the drums. The drums are really I'm clipping. So what I was thinking with this, why it's good to show you, is most of my stuff is so complicated, as you saw last week. There's so many tracks, so much stuff going on, like far too much layering, just gets so very, very complicated. And I think when I did this, I was just determined to really try and keep things simple. Could even done it simpler than this, but as you can see, there's not a lot going on here. There's basically if we're working our way down here, the left, if you can see my mouse, We've just got, that's the ghost kick that you can't even hear. The bass is just what have we got? So the bass is the loop of Simon Gallup, or whoever plays the bass. I think he was still in the band back then. And then I've just got a sub bass underneath it to. So I played the sub bass there. That's just a pure sine wave that I usually use. That's just straight out of the EXS24 sampler. No flashy stuff there, just a compressor and alloy. So that's basically what's going on with that fake kick there. You can see the purple kick that's not audible is ducking out the sub bass for when the kick happens in the drums. Just standard side chaining, quite brutal there, because with all of the random parts going on and lots of breaks and stuff, I wanted to do what I could to make it as clean as possible, seeing as the sort of, even though it's simple, there's quite a lot of random shit going on. So the bass on this is just a combination of the bass guitar and then a pure sub. Then what we've got going down here, there's the string lead, which is the main lead part that you'd recognise from this song, which is, that's a sample, but I've got it going through a compressor to kind of just even out. I should hide this alloy thing here. Evening, Ben Gashford. Buggy Mine. Gamer Juan, what's up? So yeah, the strings there are, that's the original string from the record. I boosted the tops a little bit on the EQ there, not too much, and then I replayed it just on the Roland Jupiter 8, which is part of the Roland Cloud. Absolutely love everything on there, but I would say that because they sorted me out a little deal, so I can't tell you I love it without full disclosure there. So that's me layering up, just replaying on top of the sample, just to fill in the gaps a bit, make sure it's all fully on time. So you hear them both together there, it's just gives it a bit more weight. And then these blue parts here, they're all just various bits of the samples I found, all of the guitars and stuff. They were all over the place in terms of like locking to a tempo. You can hear there's some dodgy artifacts there. I had to do some weird stuff to it to get it in time. I think I just sort of time stretched the whole lot rather than having to shuffle. What I have found useful on Logic is they added in the flex time stuff, which is good if you're doing dodgy remixes of 80s stuff, because usually they're like all over the place and not locked to a beat grid. Oh, there you go. So we've got a nice lead guitar, and you can see I'm automating the high cut frequency there. Instead of sort of doing a filter, I tend to just whack an EQ on. Thanks for the follow, Kazia Cow. Hey Jay Tarlin. Good, glad everyone's over on Twitch. Good on ya. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm going to close off the streams on Facebook and VContact and everything in a minute, so we're only on Twitch. So if you're watching on a platform other than Twitch, please head to twitch.tv/John B. Beta. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to be locking them off. So that's the lead guitar there. And then we've got low guitars here. It's quite good doing these remixes, because especially when it's a song you love as much as this, you can hear all the little parts that came to bring it together. And you can also see how well or how badly it was originally recorded too. So if we look at how the drums are built up here, so I got some tambourines. All I'd done on them was rolling off a tiny bit of the tops there. I'm not sure that's necessary. Then we had some little sort of flangey open hi-hats there. Then we got some 909s, 909 rides. As usual, I'll just roll off the bass up to the point where I kind of want them. It's a good way to make 909s sound a bit different and get rid of any pointless frequencies that interfere with what else you got going on. Here, just some more hat stuff. Surprised I didn't really roll off much on there, but I would normally do a bit of that just to keep things super clean, but it doesn't really matter. And then here, this was just some random... It looks like I just slapped in a bunch of sort of random loops I'd found here. This thing's got some bit crushing on it. It's not even bit crushing I did. This is a ready bit crushed beat. Yeah, and again, just taking the bass off there. I think I was trying to make sure the bass wasn't too muddy because it had the bass guitar in. Ben Gashford, thanks for the subscription. Nice one. And then, of course, a lovely Amen. Oh, that's a good Amen sample, that one. And I knew I was going to be beef. There you go. You can see some real-time filtering going on. You can see at the end of the 16-bar segment, everything filtered down. And you can see here how that actually takes effect. Once those blue lines come in, that's the automation on Logic. You can draw in changing any values for pretty much anything within a plugin. So yeah, so I'm sort of trying to bring the snare out a little bit, boosting the tops a little bit, and rolling off all the rumbly bass that you get on the Amen, because I wanted a more defined kick, which I think came from some other random loop I used. Not sure what this one is. Audio 21. It's probably like a filtered drums from the intro. Yeah, so this is... Hey, Danny Hawk, how you doing? The burger smoking master over there on Facebook. If you guys are into your smoking, your low and slow barbecuing, hit up Danny Hawk. Get a Bristol drum smoker off him. So in this, I think you can hear in the intro for this, basically there's a bunch of the drums and stuff are like slowly filtering up. If you can't really decide how to bring the drums in, that's a good way. I always have the hats going, so you got something to mix to, or when you're playing vinyl, you had something to mix to. But then it all just, I think it goes straight into a breakdown. Funny one to mix this, really. It's not standard like drum and bass layout, but I tend to just drop it at this point and then let it all just kick in at the drop at like 33. Cool, so I'm just going to shut off some of the other streams here, guys. If you're watching on Facebook, head over to Twitch within the next minute. www.twitch.tv/John B. Beta. I'm going to shut off the Facebook streams now. You got to go watch it on Twitch. And then I've got the volume of the music down a little. Let me just have a look at the chat. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I don't want to miss questions because this is meant to be like a Q&A, really. Chicago crew, what's up, Ben Proper Bays? How you doing? Nice to have Chicago in the place. Thanks for the follow, Scruffy and B. Carl Sativa says, John, do you remember the night shift in Pforzheim? I remember playing in Pforzheim. That was always good. Night shift, I can't remember because I don't know. I was drunk a lot back in the day as well, so that doesn't really help. Can I show you the lava project? I could, yeah. Not now. Like with these ones, I tend to load up the project in advance to make sure that it's sort of readable and makes sense and everything, and sometimes tidy them up. Because if it's something I've done, I remember lava was a clusterfuck. Like there was so much going on, so many different breaks and things, and I hadn't It was, I think after then I sort of made a bit of a commitment to try to be a bit tidier in my production and, give everything better names so I knew where I was. So we've got the vocals here in pink. So this one, I wanted to make it wider. So this is going through a compressor, just the standard Logic one is what I usually use. It does the job. And then I'm just feeding it through a stereo spreader. If we loop it here, you can hear the difference that makes. Facebook, I'm turning you off. Please go and watch on Twitch now. www.twitch.tv/JohnBBeta. So that's with it, and that's without. Wow, it makes a big difference. If I turn off the compressor, it's only light compression there, it's not really much. But that spreader really makes a big difference. But that's not the main vocal, I've got another double of it, which is the main one, which I just added there. Bathed in reverb. So on the main vocal here, compressed a bit more strongly. But no, I don't tend to do much weird compression really. It's more important if you're doing sort of trying to do some harsh effects on things, but I just use it for a little bit of taming stuff. So then here on the vocals I've EQ'd it. If I turn off, so we're only listening to this main vocal. So that's without the EQ. Hey Elside, how you doing? And that's with the EQ. It's just little touches to try and tidy it up a little bit. And then the vocal. So vocal's going out to 3 buses I have here. Just my standard big-ish reverb, bigger reverb, and then 2 is always like a delay. It's quite light on that really, nothing too much. And then, I need a bit of water. Oh, I don't know if I broke down all the drums, did I? Show me the drums. Where's the drums? What we got? Yeah, we only got down to the Amen. Oh, so more. That's just to sort of tame the tops and give it a bit more definition. Again, just to sort of, that's a sort of funky drummer derivative break there. Again, same sort of EQ. And then this one was for the guts. This is just some loop off a sample pack. I didn't even bother to separate out the kick and the snare. It provided what I needed just to beef up. How did I get the vocals so clear? Somebody on YouTube, PCL saying on YouTube. The vocals are by The Cure, Robert Smith, one of the best singers from one of the best bands ever. This is an unofficial remix, a bootleg remix I made of a song by The Cure. And I found the remix stems somewhere, like they'd obviously leaked out of a studio somewhere. Somebody had found their old master tapes. So I just wanted to make this remix to play in my sets. It's not available to buy anywhere. I haven't put it anywhere to download. Like, I think I put like an edit of it on YouTube or somewhere like that, so you can hear it in full. But it's not a download anywhere or anything like that. I tried to get it released before I put it anywhere. I did my absolute best to approach anybody I could find who was involved with the band or the label, and just got absolutely fuck all back. And then they released some really like shitty remix of it as well, which made me very sad. Anyway, and then there's a snare as well. This is like a pretty shit snare, but it just worked well in the mix with everything else. I thought just filled in some gaps, and all there is just bit of compression to like even it out. and a bit of EQ to boost the tops. I just wanted that character on the snare. You can hear it without it. See, that's without that snare. Perfectly good without that snare, really. But it just sort of, it adds a little bit to the amen there. And then down here at the bottom, all this stuff in blue. This is all the like trademark John B swooshes and booms. I'll just try and mute these. These are all the sorts of things I try to add polish to my productions. Just all things that go. Just add a bit of movement. Just like sort of vengeance kind of stuff. You'll hear those same samples on millions of other people's tracks. Just wait, you know, whenever there's the end of an 8-bar, 16-bar section, something's giving you a. Hey Jay Willie, how you doing? Thanks for the follow, Proximal Blog. I need your help with my chat, says Proximal Blog. Okay. And then, yeah, just got a little splash cymbal. I love a good splash. Nice little crash cymbal. So then what we got here, going into the main breakdown, so there's probably some automation trying to yeah, so you can see there. Hide the mixer. Yeah, so if we listen to just that section that goes. Oh, the piano. Where's the piano? There we go. I think I actually replayed the piano myself. I wanted to like copy the pianos to make it sound just like the one in the record, but the one in the record was difficult to like get sounding right. I think yeah, that's the original one. Oh, that's right. It had weird delays on it and stuff. So I replayed it with a sort of, I think an M1 piano probably. Yeah, so that's the classic. Oh, I never had a Korg M1 and I really wanted one just for that piano sound. And I had in my mind it was a straight up M1 piano on the original if you listen. But it isn't. And I'd always thought it was, but that's the original one. So I emulated it with this sort of M1 and then doubled up with this sort of sample-based chorus kind of piano. Yeah, it's just out of the sampler. It'll be a standard Logic, you know, grand piano or something. So here we are in the section coming up to where the breakdown happens. And I think it's one of those ones where I tried to make it just ease into the breakdown smoothly. The drums just kind of fade out or filter down. And like hide them with a swoosh coming up as the drums all fade out. Yeah, so you can see all of the drums there are just filtering out the tops. And also the lead guitar, yeah, all the guitars were filtering down like that. And the lead guitar there as well. Such a lovely guitar, that. So then I wanted the breakdown to just start building again, but then it goes into a false. This is like a false build up for a second build. Thank you, Frejin. Glad you're excited about the track. It's finished, so there you go. I went for a second breakdown. That's a lovely moment. Just going into silence because you would expect it all to kick in at 137. But I wanted it to come down to absolute silence. and then bring in my favourite bit from the song,
Just
the
like
guitar.
heaven.
Okay, everybody in the place, I want you to make some noise. Want to put your hands in the air. It's for that moment. Just to sort of try and milk it for a really nice moment. So yeah, and then I just kind of rolled it out really, just to keep it simple. I'll turn the volume down. Ben Gashford, is your name Ben or are you Benga? Saying, when I first started making tunes, did I go straight to jungle drum and bass or did I make any hardcore? I think when I first started I was making all sorts of random electronic. I noticed the other day, by the way, because I've got my headphones on, I talk like somebody that's got headphones on. So I might take them off now actually and just except I can't hear what's playing. Yeah, I sounded like really stupid on the last one, and this is not when I want to sound stupid. I want to sound knowledgeable about production and stuff. Let's switch it to this view. Do you like my transitions? How about that? Hello, I'm on the seaside, and I'm inside a television. I'm in the jungle. Yeah. Yeah, I started making sort of just random weird synthesizer-y stuff and sort of random techno. And I did sort of a funny hardcore-y, techno-y, acid-y phase. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing when I first started. I was only sort of 16, 17, so I was just sort of experimenting. Frajin says, how do you determine when a track is truly finished? I don't know. Usually, the way I work now is I just make a list of stuff that I need to do to the track. Like I've got one here for the track I was doing last week, and I haven't had another session on that at all in a week. It's part of the reasons I'm a bit down in the dumps today, because I just don't feel like I made much progress on some stuff. But I always have a list of things that I think need doing to a track, and once I've gone through them and then I listen to it and I'm like, is there anything else I need to do to this? Yes, no. There's usually some things that you just can't be bothered to do, or you can't solve. You know, you're looking for a sound that you want to fit in there, but you can't quite find it or put your finger on it. But usually having a list is really helpful, and it helps me work a bit more efficiently as well, because it's easy to just find yourself like, it's a bit, well, I'm not the right person to talk about meditating. I keep trying it, but I can't. But it's a bit like meditating, where you try and like bring yourself back to a focus, and you can find your mind wandering and going off on random tangents and stuff. And it's easy for me in the studio. You know, you'll wake up like an hour later, you're like, what have I just done here? I've just sat here twatting around, and just going through samples and trying to find stuff. Again, that's an easy way to just lose loads of time if you don't have a singular focus, like, I will get the right snare now. Well, that's a bad example, because that can take forever, but you know what I mean. Gamer Juan says, hey John, how long have you been using Logic, and what did you use before? I'm old now, I'm 43, so I've been doing this a long time. I started on Notator, I started on Pro 12 and Pro 24 Steinberg, on an Atari ST that was just like a black and white thing, like very simple, MIDI only. And then I went to C-Lab Notator, I used that a lot, and I think I did all of my first album on that with an Atari. Yeah, I did. I did the first few albums and most of my early stuff using Notator on an Atari ST. My dad ended up starting to sort of collect them and sells them through classifieds. I think he's got about 20 of them still in the loft that he thinks is like going to be a useful investment. I don't know, but maybe we'll just make an art installation with loads and loads of old Atari STs. Proximal says, can I add you as my mod? I don't know. I'm not going to be much help to you as a mod. I can barely mod my own Twitch channel, but maybe there's some other people in the chat here that can help you. Ginge MCR saying, what did I make Starburst on? Yeah, that was one. That was with the Atari ST, just as the sequencer. I mean, that's triggering the MIDI. Oh, I can hear my wife talking. I think the person's coming to buy the mirror. So when they arrive, I might actually stop the stream because we've got all the way through now. Why do you always have 3 different sidechain tracks? Is it to compensate the plugin latency? Oh, yeah. That's I don't know where you spotted them, but so up here at the top, I don't use these anymore. This is an old legacy thing. So these are ghost tracks I used to always have. There would no sound would be coming out. You can see there's no output. And I'd basically use them as a sidechain input for things that I wanted to sidechain off, like commonly used patterns. So one will just be a snare. I can see this one here. It looks like dumch, dumch, dum dumch, dumch. So that looks like it's the it says 2-step ghost. This one's just a 2/4 kick ghost. This one's a 4/4 kick, so it's just one every beat. And then this one's the snare. So I just know that they're always there, and I don't have to necessarily sidechain off an isolated snare or kick that might not be a reliable channel constantly. So that's a good thing. I think I'll always leave those in my template to use if needs be. But then again, it's easy enough to just when you want to be sidechaining something, to just record in what will then become a ghost track, because I like to do that and just have it going all the way through as well, because then when a breakdown happens, you don't necessarily want the string or whatever it was sidechaining to suddenly become loud, and sometimes it's nice to have that pumping effect without the thing that makes it pump actually being there. Alpha D&B says, how did you decide adding cowbells in Red Sky? It was easy. I was like, I want cowbells. Yep. Okay, cool. The person that's arriving that's coming to buy our mirror off Gumtree. So I might put it I'll put it on the Be Right Back thing, and I'll come back and do some Q&A stuff. So I'm not going to turn off the stream. I'm just going to put it on a I'll be back in a minute thing. So if you've got some questions for me, I'll be back in 5 minutes and answer any of your production questions. I should have put some music on. Studio, screen, camera and chat. I'm back. Cool. I'll play the tune through in the background quietly. Again. Yeah, they brought the mirror. That's great. We've got a bit more space in the man cave now, so that's good. So what we got on the questions? What was playing right now? That's the Cisco hold music. So what we're saying, yeah, it's the Cisco hold music I picked. Apparently that Cisco hold music was written by a 16-year-old or something like that. I don't know the full story. John, how did you make... so Inner Space Boy is asking, how did you make the stab in the track The Gate? It was a preset on the Novation Nova, or Supernova. I can't remember. It was a desktop sound module thing. That's the one where the beeps from Up All Night came from as well. I mean, they're just standard like sine wave beeps. But thank you, Dr. Pepper time. Woo! I can shut the window now. Oh. I've had 4 coffees today. No wonder I'm feeling weird. Yeah, I kind of wish I'd held on to that. It was a strange synth, the Novation Nova, because I mean that was just it was one of those mad stabs that's like very sort of digital spirit kind of sounding, and that was what spawned that whole track. Really, I was like, that's amazing. I want to make a tune like Phantom Force. So yeah, it was kind of a preset really. How do I monitor my levels? Do you use a scope? Yeah, I tend to just trust my ears while I'm doing a track and not get too bogged down in things that might slow me down. When I get to doing the mix down point, then I'll open up a sort of loudness monitor thing and keep an eye on the LUFS and have a look at how the overall spectrum is and stuff. I aim to do a bit more of that, but I try to really just go with how the song is sounding and if it's achieving what I set out to do, rather than starting off like focusing on the primary mission being, you know, being loud and, you know, an absolute beast production wise. Because that's not one of my strengths really. Like I can get stuff loud enough, and you know it's lovely to get something super, or it would be lovely to get something super duper mega loud like a lot of the Neuro guys do. But when you're DJing, if you're, you know, if I'm playing a track of mine that's only sort of -9 LUFS compared to somebody else's -3 LUFS or whatever, I just turn mine up. Like I know it's not going to sound as amazing on that big system, but most of the club, you know, if you're playing a club show or something, the sound system in there's not the greatest anyway. Whatever you're playing goes through you know, a wall of weird compressors and shit that the sound guy in there's set up how he wanted to do. I mean, obviously you have to give your music the best chance of sounding good when it gets put through all that shit. But, you know, conversely, you can spend ages trying to get your song sounding beautiful and crisp and fantastic, and then it just gets murked in the club, fed through the system, or when it gets played on the radio and it's all completely squashed and compressed and everything. Or, you know, you're playing in a club where everything's in mono. Proximal blog 3108T. Yo, can you help me with your music? You keep on asking. You need to be a bit more specific rather than that. Can you send me your music stems? Not really, not at this point, no. I might start doing like stem mastering or stem mixing or something as a paid service, but what I'm trying to do here is just to sort of show you how I do stuff and answer any of the questions you've got about Logic and production in general. So if you've got any questions, like any sticking points, things that problems you're running into and you would like my opinion or anything, then fire away. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, no problems. Gonchio, was that who I was asking there about the levels? Yeah, the scopes and stuff. I still haven't found scopes and loudness meters and things that I haven't found one that's a sort of a go-to for me yet. I mean, the Logic one is good enough. I think there's an Isotope Insight one that's pretty good. I had to do it when I did the remix for Pythias last year. They were very keen on it being like really loud and, you know, it gave me a target. That was the first time I've ever done a track where somebody said it needs to be, you know, -8 lufs minimum kind of thing, which was quite good because it really forced me to be aiming at something rather than just being like, this sounds fine, it's well balanced, whatever, it doesn't have to be loud, which is obviously what you always tell yourself when you can't make it any louder. But my stuff ends up being so complicated, it's bloody impossible to make it really loud unless you just crunch it all through a maximizer or a limiter, and then it sounds horrible, so I'd rather not. Alright, so what else? Yeah, there's lots of mid-side stuff. I get mid-side something I've dabbled in a little bit, but when I do a track where it would be useful, then I'll do more of that. It's sort of, I'll sort of learn through application, really. Yeah, I've started using the new sampler in the new Logic. I've just got like a huge sample library of stuff I've built up before, so thank God it's all compatible. But what I was really hoping it could do is chopping up breaks and mapping them out in the way I wanted, where if you put a break in, it will map it out on different keys, playing the whole sample in its entirety from progressively moved up like transient points. And I couldn't get it to do that. It seemed to just want to chop it up into individual little snippets and stuff, which is useful, but it's still, I still think to get breaks mapped out on a keyboard the way I like, you just have to do it manually, or you can do it with Recycle, but I don't know if they've updated. I haven't even tried since I updated to the new Mac Pro in like February. I haven't even tried using Recycle all on this. I don't even know if I actually installed it. I think I did. How could I have installed it though? Because it's on CDs. No, I think maybe I didn't. Recycle, have we got it in there? No, yeah, I'm going to need to sort that out because I've got so many breaks I want to like get into this system that I still haven't yet. Oh, it's got new filters and stuff as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to have a little session on that. Ben Gashford saying, who do I admire in today's drum and bass and why? Do you mean like in production and stuff? Or, I mean, there's lots of people in all sorts of parts of the industry, like production-wise. Well, the sort of, you know, I admire Caliber for how amazing his tunes are and how he keeps things so simple and they sound amazing without being all technical. People like Break for sort of having amazing mix downs and amazing vibe, and really good production without it sounding all sterile. People like Metric and TB, who are just absolutely surgical and precise in everything. Like, it sounds so clean and perfect and loud and well put together. Going back in the day, Dillinger, of course. Yeah, production-wise, that's off the top of my head. And then just in general, you know, Goldie, Fabio, Groove Rider, Doc Scott, Storm. You know, people that were doing all of this long time before me and have opened all the doors and pushed all the boundaries, and then people that have run labels and put their heart and soul into sort of pushing the scene forward, and people like SS and with Formation launched my career and was super supportive in the early years, and people like that live and breathe drum and bass and don't always get all the credit, and have done huge amounts to sort of push the scene forward, and think people like that deserve a lot of appreciation. Who they're not always the ones that come and milk it and make all the money and go off and do all the big festivals and things, so it's a shame sometimes, but it's nice that drum and bass is sort of, there's so much going on and so many people doing all sorts of different stuff. TC, yes, another good one. Oh yeah, God, Mefjus, yeah, Noisier, Camo and Crooked, there's some bloody absolute maniacs on the production, definitely. I think TC's been doing some really good studio stuff like this as well, and he's actually been kind of making stuff live as he goes along, but I think he works a lot faster than I do, so it works better for him. If I do live stream when I'm actually producing something, it'll be one of those ones where I just turn it all on one afternoon while I'm working, and you'll be like, what's that man doing there, sitting there down listening to the same snare drum over and over and over? Cool. Any more questions? Anything? I'm going to go and have my dinner in a minute. I tend not to do these ones for too long, just like an hour, just run you through a project. And I think we've done that on this one because it wasn't too complicated. And the bussing was really like pretty simple as well. Like the drums were pretty much all bussed together as breaks. All of this stuff down the bottom, all the swooshes and booms, that's just going through one bus. Vocals will be on a bus. I think all the guitars will be on a bus together. Strings. I don't know, did I even... The leads, I might have... Yeah, I mean, God. I kept it so simple on this. Like, normally the high string thing, I would have sidechained that off a snare or something, but I didn't even do it. I don't think it's necessary. Like, also, I was well aware when doing this that it would never get released. I wouldn't be able to get permission, or no one would ever bloody write back to me or reply to my emails or anything. So I was like, well, the reason for doing this is so it's something that I can play in my sets, and play in the clubs. So that's the primary purpose for it. So if it sounds good enough for me to play, that's kind of job done. But if it was going to be for release and it was an original song of mine, I'd have put more time and effort into all those sorts of things. Hey Calax, greetings to Berlin. Legendary Taunt is saying, what's your general view on using a preset? Never use presets is a stigma I've adopted early on. Do you use them as a starting point, or do you design most of your sounds from scratch, or are you primarily sample based with producing? I use a lot of presets. My stuff's quite synthesizer-y, and my general process with tracks is kind of starting on the music part and playing some synths, getting little tunes together. What I'll do is I'll find a preset that's close to what I want, and then I'll tweak that around to get it to be how I want, which is usually just sort of changing the attack and decay and release and stuff like that, and messing with the filter and things. And if it doesn't sound quite how I want, then I'll probably go for that by layering up another sound that gives me the extra bit that I want. But yeah, I use presets a lot, but I've got so many synths and so many presets and things. Obviously I won't be using presets if they sound like I've heard it in something else, then I try and avoid that. But I think they just is a good starting point. Otherwise I'd be sitting here all day and getting nowhere if I was building every sound I used from scratch. Like I don't, does your average person raving on the dance floor give a shit if you made that, synth sound from scratch? Like, they do not care in the bloody slightest. So just get it done, get the song sounding good as a whole with the sounds that you want. And that's why presets exist and sound libraries and things, is to help give you like a palette that you can put together to make something you want. And it depends on the kind of drum and bass you're making as well. Like my stuff is more sort of about the music and the song, and it's it sounds nice because of everything all coming together. But if you were making a very simple cut back, like noisy kind of track, or some of Metric stuff like Hackers, for example, he didn't just sort of that sound. That's something he built up himself with elements from several things layered up and all of that. And when it's a track with few elements and very key sounds that provide the character for the whole track, then that's where you make it yourself. And if that main sound is the focus of the track, then it has to sound unique anyway. So the only way you're going to do that is by either finding some mad sample that no one else has used, or by building it up yourself. So I think if you're going for like simple sort of neuro-y things, or like making some weird twisty filtery bass sound, like sort of critical two-steppy stuff, then that's where you need to do more sound designy things. But on the sort of liquid side and kind of trancey Euro-y drum and bass and all of that, it's more about what sounds you're putting together and the song in general. That's my opinion anyway. Thanks for the follow, Renegade Flair, nice one. Harum saying, do you have someone from the drum and bass industry who you become really close friends with? Not really. There's nobody that lives close to me really in drum and bass that I see regularly. Lots of people I get on very well with and look forward to seeing when I'm on tour or we have a gig together and all of that. And people I'll chat to on Facebook Messenger and back and forth on Twitter and everything. But it is a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird solitary life for a lot of us. Any sort of travelling DJ, we're all off travelling around doing the same thing, having the same experiences, but kind of on our own. So it's nice when there's a festival and you're all playing together, because you can then be like, oh, isn't it funny when this happens, or whatever, because also they're the kind of conversations you can't really have with your mates, because they're sort of boasty first world problems if you're talking about random shit that happens to you while you'll be playing at a big festival and being looked after and staying in lovely hotels, and or you're talking about the business lounge in Vienna airport, or something or other. It's lots of sort of aspects of my life that are sort of completely foreign ideas to my normal mates. They know what my life is like and has been like and all of that, but a lot of that stuff they haven't been through, and if I talk about all of that stuff enthusiastically, it's a bit like, I don't know, what do you say back? Ray Keith and Slipmat always bump into one another in the supermarket, says Peng Ashford. That'd be cool. Real Rudolph subscribed to Twitch Prime, thank you very much, that's great. All of the subscriptions on Twitch are really helpful at the moment, so really appreciate that, thanks a lot. Depeche Mode poster in the back. Oh yeah, I need to get a mobile camera set up in here so I can do you a proper studio tour, because I think that'd be really good. And I've got it, the lighting looks really weird on the camera here, but it's really nice at the moment. I got some new, can I move that there? You can't see them. I've got those Nano leaf lights this week, put them up. I feel like I got a right old cheesy sort of Twitch streamer with them though, everybody's got them in the background, but it makes it a bit lighter in here, even though I've got hue lights everywhere, those Philips ones that can all change colour. It sometimes feels a bit dark and dingy, or just sort of, a weird colour. Alexa, make studio purple. Hey, there you go. Oh wow, and it works. So the Nano Leaf thing wouldn't talk properly to all my smart home stuff, but it seemed to have rectified itself overnight. Yeah, got Gary Newman and Bowie up there. I've got some more of those that were in the old studio, but there's not enough wall space in here, because where there is a wall, it's got acoustic panels on most of them. Do I listen to Orbital? Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. They were a huge influence to me early on. Really, really loved their first two albums. Big fan. Am I setting off everyone's Alexas? That's brilliant. Good stuff. Who was the bra girl in your Zoom meeting? Well, I need to edit that out, because it's probably get me banned off Twitch. That was a bunch of friends of mine. I'm not going to say her name, because you'll probably start stalking her on MySpace. But yeah, I didn't spot that she flashed her boobs a bit, so I'm gonna have to move my camera over onto where she was so I don't get in trouble. How many records in your collection? Oh my god, I don't know. And I've still got a load of them at my dad's house, actually, my mum and dad's house. But there's an awful lot of them up in the loft now, so it's going to take a while to get through all of them on these Sunday night sessions. But yeah, there's a lot. It's great fun going through everything though. I've got loads of easy listening stuff as well. I sort of DJ'd easy listening for a little while with Newtone when I was at university. Newtone was at university with me, and we used to DJ at the Jazz Cafe before the bands came on, playing kind of Blue Note breakbeat stuff and then weirdly inappropriate Strings in the Night easy listening stuff. Hey Jim, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes, so any more questions? Otherwise I'll be back next week. When's my next streaming? I think tomorrow. Like, I'm a bit mashed at the moment, like feeling like I can't really get anything done, so I might just write tomorrow off, or tomorrow afternoon, and just play some video games, some Escape from Tarkov. In which case I'll be streaming while I do that for like several hours. So if you want to watch me struggling at a very, very difficult military, hardcore, realistic video game, come check that out tomorrow and tomorrow evening. And then Thursday mornings when I do the promo new releases stuff. And then Friday night, if I get all my prep done, I'm going to do something really fun. DJing in here with the green screen, my temporary green screen behind me. Oh yeah, I can show you on the... So I've got an acoustic panel that goes on my left, but it had to be on wheels. So I can move it back and forth to get to the cupboard. And I was like, what can I do? Oh, you can't see, but basically I put a green screen panel fabric on the back of it, so I can roll this up behind me and then do some mad shit. Don't know if you can hear that interference in the background there. That's nothing to worry. Yeah, it'll finish now. I've just got a day and night, a dodgy electrician fitted a day and night sensor, and to the lights out the front, so that they so that's it flipping on and off when it can't quite decide if it's nighttime or daytime. Yeah, Real Rudolph, do you do Tarkov? Hey, nice. Yeah, well I'll be on Tarkov tomorrow definitely. What's my method for creating drums, says Galactic Punk Funk. Usually like layering stuff up. You can see here the drums. I haven't got my headphones on, so I can't hear it. But if I just do them here, you can hear as I progressively unmute stuff. Just separate all the channels out. Combination of breaks and samples, drum machine stuff. And I just try to be careful, make sure I'm not duplicating frequencies and things, roll off bass that's not necessary and make muddy stuff up. That's it really, just build things up so I've got maximum flexibility for mixing, and then bust things out again to give maximum flexibility for like mixing stuff down in future, or if like a snare is, you know, a 3 sort of transient fundamental tail and probably some other shit, they're all going to one bus, so if I decide I want the snare to be louder, I can just do it with one fader on the buses. Yeah, kick, I really like kick, and I've started using Serum a bit for sort of transienty stuff. Yeah, kick's really good. What I tend to do with my kicks is just have a sort of tuned kind of kick for the low sub, and then something for the character on the top, and I roll the bass off that. I don't really I don't do the same way with a snare where I'd have the transient as well. I tend to just pick something with sort of transient and character, because you can sort of add the, you know, the hats and things like that will provide the same sort of attack you would get. Yeah, I sort of modify it as I go along, but kick is that soft synth kick is really good. You can just sort of change the duration of it and the pitch and then it's just about the character. Really, that seems to work okay for me. I'll always have some kind of just low subby kick underneath whatever other kick I have, just to fill it in properly, and just sort of give you flexibility to decide how much weight you want on your kick there. Looking at the chat. Am I using much outboard anymore? No, everything's in the box. I used to have a lot of outboard. I mean, everyone did at some point, where it was just MIDI and then synths and mixers and straight to DAT. But I do everything in the box now. I just find it easier, less faffing around, less equipment heating up the studio as well. I saw those new, is it the solid state mixer or something? I don't know, yeah. It's not something that's going to revolutionise my sound or, give me any crazy new change to my sound or inspiration that's going to make more music or anything. Like, I buy more equipment or plugins and things to help me either make music faster or give me more ideas or anything, and I don't feel like I need any of that right now. So no need for outboard for me. Like, I can make any of the sounds I imagine and what I need with what I have. So my barriers to stuff is just sort of finding the time and the patience and lack of other distractions to just get down and do stuff. Yeah, Goncho saying, yeah, Spy had the SSL6. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That looked tempting because it's an easy way to just send stuff out and then fire it through some kind of like outboard channel. I know TB's really big on sending stuff out through outboard and all sort of valve stuff and all of that. That looks great fun. But I don't think it would really add much to my sound. Like, my sound isn't dependent on being able to make bass sounds super warpy or anything, and any sort of warpy bass sound stuff I would want to do, I can get sounding how I want, that's good enough for me in my tunes anyway. But where his, like TB's kind of stuff, the bass sound and the sort of the Calyx and TB sound is very much on the bass sound being very individual and like something you sort of haven't really heard before, and the way you do that is using equipment that other people don't have and they don't use, and doing it as absolutely best as you can. So you couldn't really do that all in the box for sure. So that's where it becomes important, if that's the sound you're kind of going for, I'd say. But in a world of a million gazillion plugins and software samplers and anything you want you can sample and all of that, I'm happy doing this, because I struggle just getting enough tunes done anyway with all of this stuff that I have. So I don't think buying any outboard would sort of help me in the battles I have. A big console is a boat anchor at this point. I love outboard synths, for sure. Like, I follow some Instagram channels and stuff, and I have friends that have a lot of synths, and it brings back a lot of memories from when I was starting out, and like that was what you just fantasized about, having, Roland D50 and JX8Ps and Junos and Yamaha DX7s and emulator and all that sort of stuff. So when I find good software recreations of that with all of the presets all there, I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's almost as good, but you don't have that beautiful physical thing there that like smells all sort of synthesizer-y, and as long as it wasn't owned by a smoker or something before you. But yeah, cool. Oh, hello Tasha Baxter, how you doing? I'm just about to sign off. I'm not leaving just as you arrive, I'm sorry. So cool, yeah, all right, I better go. So yeah, nice to catch up with everybody. I'll be back doing this regularly. Hopefully by next week I'll have finished that tune I was doing last week, because there's not too much I need to do to that really. So I'll be able to run through you all the extra bits and bobs I did, and play you a finished brand new tune, which will be the first tune I've finished since sort of the end of March. So that'll be good. I'm going to be on tomorrow just doing some gaming and stuff. Yeah, I've got the outro. I've got my stream decks now, so I can like change my scenes like this, put the jungle on there. Look at the jungle. I'm in the jungle. It's the jungle. And then we've got this for the when I need to go for a wee. And then we got this for chatting. And then got that for when you can see what we're doing. And see how the transitions smoothly fade. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And then this is for when I don't want you to see my screen. For when the Russian hackers are on. So yeah, I bought a new Stream Deck for what's over there behind me. Oh, I can probably give you a little, if I move this camera now, seeing as we're near the end. That's my other setup. Look at that. Look at those computer screens. Look at their flashing lights. Woo. I'm going to spill a drink over everything at some point though. That'll be great. John B destroys thousands of pounds worth of equipment on the stream. So yeah, all right. So I'll be on tomorrow playing video games. I think I've decided I'm just going to have the afternoon off. Thursday morning, drum and bass promo listening session. Friday night, if I get my shit together, a special Star Trek themed mega parallel universe John B DJ set. I'm going to be playing everything you don't think I would normally play. Well, everything I wouldn't normally play. Like, I'm going to play sort of mad heavy neuro and jump up and like just crazy shit, like a sort of John B down a wormhole in the Starship Enterprise kind of thing. So all right, I'll leave you with my nice stream ending video, which I edited myself. It took me all bloody day last weekend, so here you go, and thanks for tuning in. See you next time, and do a if you got an Amazon Prime, do me a Prime subscription thingy if you can. That'd be amazing. See you all later. See you, Tasha. Sorry I didn't get a chance to chat there. I'll see you next time. I checked in on your stream the other day and was very impressed as well. So big up. All right, laters. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Game of War.